Hi, this is Mark Wallstrom. I'm the president of Wallstrom & Associates, and you're watching Speaking of Settlements, a featured broadcast here on the Legal Broadcast Network. Well, I'm going to have a brief little commentary here on the issue of structured sales and using 1031 accounts or 1031 exchange accounts, if you will, to hold funds for a short period of time while we try and find or wait for some life companies to reemerge into the structured sale area. So we all know Prudential several years ago pulled out of the structured sale market. Earlier this year in 2013, Allstate announced that they would be closing their structured settlement division, and with it the ability to do structured sales. So right now, here we are at the beginning of April in 2013 with a tremendous amount of demand. We were getting calls every single day of people looking to structure property sales now that the new capital gains rates and for people who are flipping properties, ordinary income tax rates are so high, people are really looking for ways to begin to defer gains on properties. The structured sale is an outstanding option, but unfortunately, right now we're in kind of a state of flux, and that the people who have, and the companies who have written these in the past are simply not available. Although, as I mentioned in last week's commentary, we fully expect to have one, if not two other life companies enter this market sometime in 2013. Obviously, we're hoping it's going to be sooner rather than later, but we don't have a definitive time, although you can count on the fact that as soon as it's announced, we'll have a broadcast here to make you aware of it. We have two suggestions for people who, if you are in the process of selling appreciated real estate and want to use a structured sale, you've got some flexibility, we've got two things we want to counsel you to do. Number one, we want you to buy some time. One way you can do that is obviously if you have a seller that can hold off for a period of time, and it makes sense from a business standpoint for you to do that, and it's not going to endanger or jeopardize your sale, obviously push back that date until the furthest date that's reasonable and practical for you. So hopefully at that time we do have a market to do it. The second thing is we want to have you contact our office at Wallstrom & Associates, and we'll discuss with you ways that you can amend your purchase and sale or your contractual agreements to allow you the option to either use a 1031 or a structured sale. And it doesn't tie you to it, but it gives you the option to do it if a funding company that would handle a structured sale does emerge. If it doesn't, you simply go through with your cash sale. But there's ways that you can put that in there as a contingency. It's important to do that because we want the documents to reflect your ability and the agreement of the seller to allow you to do it and the agreement of the buyer to transact the paperwork. And if you don't, you don't, but you want to make sure those documents afford you the ability, so if at the last moment a market does occur and you do want to structure, you don't have to go back and blow up the sale, but you've got the ability and you can do it in a compliant way to get it done. The third thing is that there's also a school of thought out there that you can put money into a 1031 account for 45 days, and I'll grossly simplify how this works. But you don't take constructive receipt of that sale for 45 days. You do have a window of time before you can purchase a like property, and if you don't purchase that like property, you simply pay the gains or the tax at that time. The way Allstate and Prudential used to do these, they used to have what used to be known as a fallback provision. If a 1031 fell through, that you could then structure the sale. Just as I mentioned previously, you have to have certain empowering language in. There's certain stuff that you have to have in your purchase and sale, but it's certainly an option. So if you really want to structure the sale of your property, if you want to spread that time out, there's some things that we can do in the interim until some of these other markets come online, until we understand what their underwriting guidelines are going to be, what they'll accept, what they won't accept. But we've got some options that we think would be beneficial for you. I'd like you to contact our office. It's Wallstrom & Associates. We're easy to find and easy to talk to. We'd be happy to discuss with you what your choices and options are. But we think the structured sale market is going to be dynamic in 2013, 2014. Real estate prices are coming back. People are beginning to transact. sales and they don't want to deal with these higher tax rates. And this is a wonderful opportunity for you to spread it out over time and to do planning that benefits both parties, both buyer and seller. I hope this tip's been helpful, and I hope to hear from you if you have a case or a situation you'd like to discuss. This has been Speaking of Settlements. I'm Mark Wallstrom. We'll see you again next week.